What is up, guys? Skyler here. Before we get into it, I gotta say shout out to the ERB guys once again. In their newest post, they gave me a nice little shout out in their comment section, as well as they subscribed to me on YouTube, so that's pretty cool. But one thing I wanted to say is we broke 1,000. We did it. We're past 1,040 or something now, so we're way past it. We went up like 100 subs today, which is pretty cool. But one thing I gotta say is production is going to ramp up. By that I mean I'm gonna have a little bit higher quality videos. It's really gonna start after I get back from vacation, so be ready for that and help me out. I got something I wanted to ask at the end. It's nothing too crazy, but just be ready. If stay till the end if you're someone who watches quite often. Two revolutionary people, Guy Fawkes and Che Guevara, both for very different causes, but
fresh kangaroo, ill rhyme slayer from the 60s era, revolting heavy metal rebel blood spiller. Me and my gorillas are a squad of killers.
That bark. So the gorillas, that's what they called themselves, the gorillas, and they were very ruthless. And he said a squad of killers because in Castro's and Che Guevara's era, or their like whole regime per se, like 10 to 15,000 people died, rather to be sentenced to death or just killed, straight up murdered. So he's telling he's telling the truth right there. And this is in the 60s. They have him painted in all white with this whole this is the face or the area or how he's known as, and all the pictures and stuff like that. But it's not too long ago. What, like 80 years ago? Or no, not even that, 60 years ago. What the hell am I thinking? So it's not even that long ago. Some of you guys that are watching this may even be that old to remember. My demographic goes that far. So, and Che Guevara may be a very controversial person to some, but he's like high held in regards to others because, he built schools. He built libraries. He did a lot. He was a doctor. He was a very smart person. And he's loved upon a lot. So very interesting. And the Kangleware is talking about the manufacturer of his hat. What is it called? A beret, I believe. I think it's called a beret. But the Kangles, they made like tons of military clothes, and they're still in business today. So yeah, let's get back into it. This beat is nice, and his flow is nice.
From the 60s era, revolting heavy metal rebel blood spiller. Me and my gorillas are a squad of killers. Known worldwide for my steely-eyed look. You're famous because of Valamore's third best book.
V for Vendetta.
We will be like Jay, asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away.
The V Vendetta reference, third best book, because I'm guessing the reference there because that's the only book he's in. But this was pretty hard right here. All the kids will be like Che, because that's true. Like I said, he built schools, and he was very liked. He died as a martyr to some, revolutionaries that people believe in communism from him, and they were saying, as long as training his name in schools, to be the perfect person or be a good person was to be like Che. So that's how loved he was. And then, asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away, because he was a good looking man, but cutthroat too. He'll kill someone. So I like it. And this beat is fire.
All the children say we will be like Jay, asthmatic, but I'll take your breath away.
Whisper to me.
James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot. Try to rehearse. Set my face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge. Your head is on a spike up on London Bridge. You had one.
He was beheaded. Guy Fawkes was beheaded after a lot of other stuff, but he was beheaded. But this very interesting how he says, I'm on a face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge or something fridge. Yeah, your roommate's fridge. It's very anti-Che, to be honest, because sure, he's plastered everywhere and he's super popular, but it was, these magnets, everything they're selling from him is the exact opposite thing from he wanted. That's capitalism at its finest. And he was a communist, which is not something he wanted. Equality for all, did not believe in capitalism at all, which is very interesting that he would say that. It's a brag, but I feel like it kind of misses, in my opinion. That's a big miss. But this was nice. So he tried to kill James, the person he tried to assassinate.
James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot. Try to rehearse.
Your next plot, try to rehearse, because the gunpowder plot, which was the assassination attempt on James on the House of Lords, I believe that's what they called it. I think it was like Parliament. It was basically Parliament. And it failed. Guy Fawkes was captured under with all the gunpowder that was supposed to be lit. So they're saying you got to practice if we're going to get it right. But your next plot, the gunpowder plot, I like that. That was nice. That was a very good line.
But I'll take your breath away. You tried to rebel against James the First. Here's a tip for your next plot. Try to rehearse. I got my face on a magnet on your roommate's fridge. Your head is on a spike up on London Bridge. You had one job, Cabron, to strike a matchstick.
Yep.
Hot with the fuse like your boss. Not lit. You should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy. Treat this battle like the gallows and take another dive.
That was nice. That was nice. So the whole, like I said, matchstick like your bars. He hasn't rapped yet, so you can't really talk about his bars, in my opinion. But yeah, he was supposed to light the gunpowder, but he didn't. And what he says right here is he was captured, and he was supposed to get like his balls cut off. He was supposed to be hung, burned, beaten, beheaded to end it all off. And here's what happened: he, like, treat this battle like the gallows, and take another dive.
Gallows and take another.
And take another dive. So what Fawkes did to avoid all of that and to not have that pain is, the gallows. When they would go to hang someone, they would go up on a stairs up, and then there would be like a trap door, or they push him off. He just jumped off before they could hung him and snapped his neck himself, so that way he wouldn't, because they were going to hang him and bring him up. That way he wouldn't die. Just give him that pain. So he avoid torture by snapping his own neck by doing that. Very interesting. And I do like this. The whole epic fail guys stay anonymous. The anonymous hacker group, as long, known for that V for Vendetta mask, as well as the epic fail guys, which the 4chan meme. I can't believe pop culture references up the wazoo right here.
To strike a matchstick. Got caught with the fuse like your boss. Not lit. You should have stayed anonymous, epic fail guy.
This is a very good actor.
Another dive.
As a communist, it must really hurt that your face has been cheapened, weakened, besmirched, being plastered on posters, coasters, and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on merch.
That's exactly what I was talking about, and that's such a hard point. Everything that Che fought for, the communist movement and everything like that, is the exact opposite of what's happening. The whole fad era of wearing Che Guevara merch, that was everywhere. That was even in my high school. I don't even know why. And even then, like, I didn't even know why people wore that as teenagers. It'd be like revolting against parents or whatever, but it was crazy. And that's the exact opposite thing from what he wanted. So hard bar so far.
Besmirched, being plastered on posters, coasters, and shirts, making capitalists rich off of you on merch. Right, I'm a pious man and I fight for the Lord. I would cut you, but I don't want your sweat on my sword. I was tortured until I could hardly sign my name, and listening to you felt pretty much the same.
not a ton of crazy bars, but yeah, he was tortured, and he eventually gave up his co-conspirators. These same co-conspirators kind of abandoned him when he was caught. But there's actually an image. I think I saw it on something. I don't remember what I saw it on. Maybe it was a history class. But you can see the difference in writing and how weak he was when he signed his name, because after you gave up information to the king, you had to sign your name that this is valid proof. When he gave up his party, but one thing he said is, "I would cut you with my sword, but I don't want any sweat on." And he fights for a lord. He was a religious man, but the guerrillas were kind of dirty, and their fighting tactics were a little dirty, as well as just themselves. They were in strict poverty and poor. Maybe not Che himself, because he was very high up on the rankings list. Fidel Castro's right hand man. So I doubt he would really be dirty per se. But a lot of the guerrillas, they'd be pretty dirty. Showers don't come cheap.
One merch! Right, I'm a pious man and I fight for the Lord. I would cut you, but I don't want your sweat on my sword. I was tortured until I could hardly sign my name, and listening to you felt
look, he's holding gunpowder in the back.
Ernesto, you're Castro, but less so. He's Cuba commander, you're more of the destro.
That was hard on some rap stuff. Like, that was hard. He says, "Face it, Ernesto," which was Castro, or not Castro, sorry, which is Che before he was the Che Guevara. That was his real name. His name was Ernesto Guevara, where he was the good guy. He says, he's the commander, you're more of number two. So he's saying he's directing it towards the old Che, the good guy, the doctor, because Che was a doctor and a very good student before he was turned. he's saying the good guy, you're not bad. He's the bad guy. He's the commander. You're number two. You're not really that bad, because he was a medic before he was the big revolutionaries. You're not as good as you're not as bad as you are. There's good in you. So I like that. That's a whole change switch.
Listening to you felt pretty much the same. Ooh, face it, Ernesto, you're Castro, but less so. He's Cuba commander, you're more of the Destro. Revolt all you want, I don't give two guys fucks. But look at Venezuela, what you're fighting for sucks.
Venezuela's still in heavy poverty now. Their economy's trash still to this day, and I'm sure COVID sure as hell didn't help it. What you're fighting for, didn't really make much of a difference in the grand scheme of things. So it's pretty crazy. And I don't give two guy Fawkes. That was pretty funny. But I really liked Fawkes' verse, and I really liked the whole area behind him with all the gunpowder behind him, because they found him in the basements when they captured him. So that's real funny.
Revolt all you want, I don't give two guys fucks. But look at Venezuela, what you're fighting for sucks.
Sucks. Guy, you died for the Catholics. A group with a bad touching little boys have. And this porn
That
star
rebuttal.
killed. What's up with that? It's more like me, a very bad ad. Oh!
That punch is pretty weak. I think we can all admit that. The hand sign, I get the double meaning behind it, but talking about his hat, I mean, his hat's pretty cool. Let's be honest. But his looks were, that was that era. I called him a porn star. But he said you rebuttal. That was a very strong rebuttal, because all Che fought for. It was kind of not very good, but he's saying what you fought for was worth with the whole. Fawkes fought for God. So, the whole Catholic little boy touching thing, very well known. So he's saying that was hard. Very good rebuttal.
Fighting for sucks.
Sucks. Guy, you died for the Catholics. A group with a bad touching little boys have.
This actor is super good.
What's up with that?
And he looks just like him.
Me, a very bad ad. Oh, what's the Fawkes say now? When they cut your junk out, I'm the hardest Marxist ever.
ERB, I can't believe you just. What the Fawkes say me? I can't believe you just did that. And you made a noise. Why? Why would you do that to me? What's the Fawkes say but FOX? That whole that was out of my head. I haven't thought about what the Fawkes say for years. Why would you put that in my head? First Beaker, now this. What are you doing, man? What's the Fawkes say? And cut your junk out. When you get hit in the balls, maybe high pitch or something, you make a squeal. But and they even made the noise.
What's the Fawkes say now?
Oh my God. Okay. Let's go back. We'll hear it one more time, hopefully.
It's more like me, a very bad ad. Oh, what's the Fawkes say now? When they cut your junk out, I'm the hardest Marxist ever graced a banknote. You're an error-prone terrorist, penny for the scapegoat.
Don't try to.
Oh, okay. So he was a scapegoat. He was the only one caught. And they didn't try to save him. So, kind of the scapegoat. And he was called a terrorist because he tried to bomb the parliament building, per se, as well as the king. So, he was considered a terrorist, even though they weren't really liked. So, he was still considered a terrorist under, the king's order. And your error, which was his inability to set the match, and ever the hardest Marxist to ever say, he means the whole communist regime, communist era, to ever grace a banknote. I think he's not the only one, but Che Guevara's on money. He's actually on money, so people liked him. He was on the money, and that's pretty crazy. When you think of people, especially if you're American, the people on your money are your Abraham Lincolns, your George Washingtons, these people that are big, revolutionaries, or people that are very insanely good people, and that's what they think of him. So that's why he's on the money.
You're an error-prone terrorist, penny for the scapegoat.
Don't try to boast about your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. This very battle disproves your communist initiative. These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed.
Communism trying to distribute equal or upon the people, and that was hard. So these skills aren't evenly distributed. That was very nice. And then, the economy wasn't very good before he got there. Sure as hell wasn't better after when he was killed. But, don't try to boast.
Don't try to boast about your banknotes with Guido.
Your banknotes and your Guido. Very interesting because his banknotes, the Venezuelan dollar isn't worth anything. Even today, I think it's worth like what? One American dollar is worth like 10 Venezuelan dollars, maybe 11. I don't know what the whole communism, whole COVID thing going on, so it's not, your money ain't worth shit. All these notes that you're on, you're famous and all that, don't mean shit. It means nothing. With Guido, I don't really get that reference. Is it? I don't get that reference. Let me know in the comment section down below what that means. I really don't get that one at all.
Boast about your banknotes with Guido. You muddled your economy like mint in a mojito. This very battle disproves your communist initiative. These rhyme skills are not evenly distributed.
That was a hard bar.
Catholic, I've got mass when I'm rapping. You're an on-chain, that's Bay of Pigs Latin.
Bay of Pigs, the invasion of Cuba that actually did not work. And Che was leading, so I don't really know how hard of an insult that was, even though he said it in another language, Latin. Che, I like that. But the mass, talking about I'm Catholic, so let's go over it again. I got mass when I'm rapping, so he's packing heat. He's packing when he's rapping. He got mad substance, as well as mass, which is Catholic mass. I'm not the hugest church guy. I just know that's some sort of ceremony or something like that. So, that's cool bar.
Bay of Pigs Latin. After what just happened, you should retire. Is it the 5th of November? 'Cause I'm on fire!
The 5th of November, the whole gunpowder plot is when him getting caught, but they celebrate it. It's really weird that the British celebrate an attempt to kill Parliament and the King. But, that's what they do. Very interesting stuff. But guess what? I think Fawkes won. I gotta say, I think Fawkes won there. One thing I wanted to say before we get into, or before I end it off, is I got an outro now, and I have a pretty cool guy that's in the music that is in the background. Definitely check him out. Go to the first link in the description and tell him Skyler sent you. But yeah, I appreciate all the people that came by, and if you like that music that he does, definitely subscribe to him, and of course subscribe to me. But I'll see you guys later.